welcome to Just Ask Sherry. I appreciate you coming on. Please like and subscribe so you can keep coming back. I want to talk a little bit more about being obese my whole life. Talk a little bit about into my 20s and 30s and some of the things that I went into and things that happened to me and the struggles that came along with it. People can be very cruel, and I had a lot of things that transpired over my life that were very difficult. One of the things that sticks out in my head in my lifelong struggle that really was very cruel, there were several things. I remember one time I was in this choir. I was 23 years old. It was when I was at my heaviest. I weighed 241 pounds and I was 5 feet tall, so that made me look like a round ball, but I was always struggling. And of course, people who don't know you, they're not intimately close to you, they have no concept of what kind of struggles that you go through. And I remember being in this choir, and at the end of our rehearsal period of time, I was walking to my car, and some guy in our group who barely knew me at all, other than my name maybe, as I'm walking to my car with 30, 40 other people, however many people were in this group, he yelled out in front of everyone. He said, "Good night, fatso." I was so mortified that it literally brought me to tears. Now, this is going back a lot of years ago because I'm 67 and I was 23 years old then. So a long time ago, there was not many people who were obese like I was. I was devastated. And I walked to my car and I cried my heart out. I was beside myself. And I'd been living alone for the most part since I was 18. And I went home and I just cried. When I came back next week for rehearsal, I had really worked myself up to get all of my courage together. And I walked up to him in front of whoever was there. And I don't remember if there was 2 people there or 20 people there. But I walked up to him and I said, "You owe me an apology." Now, I know he knew what I was talking about, because how could you not? Now, he was probably a very insecure person himself if he felt he needed to say such a thing to me. But I said, "You owe me an apology." And he said, what do I owe you an apology for? And I said, "You know why you owe me an apology. You were very rude to me last week, and you owe me an apology." And he said, "What for?" And I said, "When we were leaving last week, you called me fatso. And I'm a normal person like everybody else, and I have feelings, and that was hurtful and rude. And you embarrassed me in front of all of these people for no reason. You don't even know me. And you owe me an apology." And he was like dead silent, and he looked straight at me, and it was like, oh, because now other people were gathering around. And I caught him dead center. And he went, "Oh, I'm sorry." And I said, "You should be, because that was not called for, and I'm a nice person, and you don't even know me, and there was no reason for you to say such a thing." And he said, I'm sorry, and he walked away kind of with his tail between his legs. And it was like calling out a bully for being a coward. And he never said another thing to me after that. And I caught him with his pants down, basically. And I really learned, I'm a strong person, and I may not be what you like or what you want me to be or think I should be, but I don't deserve to be treated rudely. And after that, I embarked on this journey of trying to get my weight off. And that summer, I bought a 10-speed bike. That was the big thing in those days, is to have a 10-speed bike. But you have to picture this. Those 10-speed bikes back then, I don't know what they look like today because I haven't ridden a bike in many years, but they had these tiny little seats And I had this great big rear end. And so I got on my bike, and many videos ago, I showed you a picture of me next to that bike. And my big rear end sat on this tiny little seat. So there was a lot of overlap, a lot. And I was riding my bike because I was determined that I was going to get exercise on a daily basis. And I did. I got a lot of exercise. I used that bike for years. And I was riding my bike. I lived near the ocean. I was in Connecticut. That's where I grew up. And I was riding my bike by the ocean. And a car full of guys, probably around my age, were driving by. And one of the guys, jerk that he was, yelled out the window and said, "Get a horse, lady." And again, I was devastated because here I was trying to do something for myself to take care of my problem. And someone who doesn't even know who I am made a horrible comment to me. And I thought, you don't even know how hard I'm working. You don't even know what I'm going through. Like, people are just so mean, so cruel for no reason at all, and probably because they're insecure themselves. And they use that insecurity to make themselves feel better. And it was just a disheartening experience. And with that, I'm going to ask you to take time out and like and subscribe to my channel, Just Ask Sherry, so I can keep coming back and hopefully help you in your journey in whatever you're going through. That was just another incident of someone being cruel and rude while I was on my journey to try to help myself get healthy and feel better about myself. And there were so many journeys, so many things that I went through in my journey to getting healthy and feeling better. And it was a very, very long journey. And I went through this, but you know what? I kept at it. And I would watch what I'd eat, and I'd lose and I'd gain, I'd lose, I'd gain. But I kept up with the exercise. That was the one thing that I really, for the most part, I did keep up with my bike riding. I played racquetball. I took up tennis. I did a lot of things. I tried to find things that I found enjoyable to do. I had, in those days, a Sony Walkman, which were very big, and I'd put on the Sony Walkman. I had bike clips on my pedals. I put a rear view mirror on my bike. I really did things to be very active in that particular sport that I was doing so that I could enjoy what I was doing. And riding along the water, I found very enjoyable. I also, in later years, as I got toward my 30s, I had bought a condo on the water, and every morning I walked 4 miles on the water before I'd go to work. That was my morning routine. I did that for a long time. I also, when I had gotten down to my thinnest at that point, I had this campaign, which was very funny because I was going on a singles trip to Israel and with a lot of people. And I did not want to be overweight. So in those days, I sold wholesale eyewear, and I had all of Connecticut and Southern Mass and Westchester County, New York. And I said, I'm going to commit to this. And I started this program called Thin Thighs for Israel. And I told all of my customers that I called on, because I was very friendly with my customers. You call on people, for 8 years, every 6 to 8 weeks, you become very good friends with them. And so I said, I'm on Thin Thighs for Israel. So I don't want to eat any junk food at all. And I'm exercising, and this is my routine. And so that's what I did. And I really did. I got down to 127 pounds. And when I went on that trip, which is where I met my husband, I looked really good. And I showed you that picture in a previous video as well. So I really worked hard. It took me a lot of years to get all of that weight off, which I kept off until I got pregnant with my first. And then I lost gain. And then after I had my third, it took me 12 years to get that weight off. and then keep it off for the last over 17 years already. But that's been, basically my journey in my weight loss. And, in future videos, I'm going to tell you more about how I've kept it off the last 17 years. And it's been a process, but I've done it. I don't crave the foods anymore. I love looking at pictures of food, but I don't crave them anymore. And that's a big, big deal. And I hope I can help you not to crave the foods as well and how to get there. So please keep coming back, like and subscribe down below. Please comment if you've reached any of these goals along the way. If you need help in keeping these goals, please comment, or if you want it to be private, email me at justasksherry, SHERRIE @gmail.com. I hope I can help you. I really want to. I want you to get where I am, where you don't crave the foods and that you're comfortable and that you're healthy. I'll do anything I can to try to help you do that. Please keep coming back. I appreciate your time. Keep the numbers low. Work at it. I appreciate everything. Thanks.